In this video, I will discuss on JEE Main PYQ from the topic straight line motion. Straight line motion is basically 1D motion. 1D motion means the properties of this motion, which is velocity, acceleration, speed, like that, will depend only on one space variable. For example, the body can be moving along a horizontal line. So this one example of straight line motion, or it can move along a vertical line, or it can move in some arbitrary direction. So if you call this x-axis, so this motion on x-axis, and the space variable for this motion is x. And this motion, which is along the vertical direction, if this is y-axis, then the speed, acceleration, all those things will depend only on the y variable. For this motion, I can orient this x-axis along this direction, or I can call this axis as x1 axis. So for this motion, the space variable is x1. So this is a line which is lying on this plane, and also I can have a line like this, which is out of this plane of the board. So motion along this line is also a straight line. So we have to orient this x-axis along this direction. And the simplest straight line motion we can have is where the acceleration is a number, real number. So the acceleration is a number, then it is not function of space and time. It does not depend on the space and also does not depend on time. So such an acceleration is called uniform and constant acceleration. Uniform means it does not change with space. Constant means it does not change with time. Since it's a number, if different points in space, the acceleration will be the same value. So for this simple motion, the equations of motion are v equal to u plus at, where u is the initial velocity at time t equal to 0. If you put t equal to 0, then the velocity is u. And the displacement of this body, it's ut plus half a t square. So the origin of this displacement axis is the initial position, because at time t equal to 0, if you put t equal to 0, displacement is 0. And the third equation of motion is v square equal to u square plus 2as. If you consider the motion, see of a body which is thrown from the Earth's surface with the Earth's surface, I have a mass m here, which I give an initial velocity, say u. So this mass will go up like this. The velocity will keep on decreasing because the Earth will apply a gravity force in this direction, which is opposing the motion. So at this point, the topmost point, the velocity will become 0, and here it will turn back and come down. Okay, so for this motion, this is the origin of the displacement axis, and this is my positive direction. And acceleration, which is the force is same as acceleration, because by Newton's second of force is mass into acceleration. Mass is fixed. Okay, so force is nothing but acceleration, or acceleration nothing but force, except for a factor mass. So know the direction of acceleration, you have to know the direction of force. So here the gravity force between the Earth and the mass is downwards. So acceleration downwards. So for this motion, acceleration is minus g. All this velocity displacement and actually have direction. So in the case of 1D motion, we can get the direction in terms of sign. There are only two possible directions. One is upward direction, one is downward direction. So according to this convention, upward direction is positive, downward is negative. So the acceleration is negative. And one more thing to notice is for this motion, any given displacement, say this sort of displacement from here, will happen at 2 times. At this time and also at this time. So this time is the time it takes to go from here to here. This time is the time it takes to go from here to here and then come back. So that's what we can see from here. If you put this S value corresponding to this height, it's a quadratic equation. So you have 2 roots. So one time will be this going up time, another time will be the time it's coming down. So with this understanding, you can solve this JEE Main question. So this is from JEE Main 2021. You can read the question. A ball is thrown up with a certain velocity so that it reaches a height h. Find the ratio of 2 different times of the ball reaching h by 3 in both the directions. You can pause and run this question. So the ball is thrown up with some initial velocity u. So it reaches a height h at the topmost point. The velocity will keep on decreasing because the gravity force will pull it down, which will oppose its motion, and then it will come down. So the height h by 3, so 1/3 of this height, it's approximately here. So this height is h by 3. So at this displacement, it's at 2 times. One is at this time, and it's going up the time from here to here. And the second time is going up here, and will keep on coming down. So this time is t2. The time to go from here to here is t1. So this displacement h by 3 will occur at 2 times. So that we have to find out. So we have this equation of motion s equal to ut plus half a t square. We have to choose an origin and direction of the axis. So this is my origin of the axis, and this is the positive direction. So according to this convention, acceleration is downward direction is minus g. And to get this time at the displacement h by 3, I have to put s equal to h by 3. ut minus half g t square. And u I can get in terms of h, because if u is more, h will be more, will reach a greater height. If u is small, means it will reach a small height and turn back. So there is a relation between u and h. That relation you can get from this v square equal to u square plus 2as. So this equation apply at the topmost point. V is 0. And use the initial velocity, and E is minus g. S is h for the topmost point. So this equation applying for the topmost point. So this will give me the initial velocity u as square root of 2gh. And the initial velocity is upwards because it's thrown upwards, and that is a positive. So we have to take a positive sign. Okay. Now using this value of u here, square root of 2g h into t minus half g t square. Okay. So this is a quadratic equation. You have to solve for t1 and t2. So the roots of the quadratic equation are, it's given as minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So t1 will be minus b. Okay, actually this I can rewrite as, this I can bring on the left side. So half g t square minus root 2ght plus h by 3 equal to 0. So this quadratic in t, b is this one minus square root of 2gh, a is g by 2, c is h by 3. So t1 is minus b minus square root of b square is 2gh minus 4 ac. A is g by 2 into c is h by 3 divided by 2a, which is g. These roots of quadratic equation. To get the lower root, I put a minus sign. So t2 will be with a plus sign. T2 is exactly same. Just have to put the plus sign. So in the question, you have to find the ratio of T1 by T2. The denominator will go, and we can cancel the square root of 2gh. Here also 2gh is there. This 2 will cancel here. So here also 2gh is there, square root. So if I cancel this, I'll get 1 minus square root of 2gh will go. So 1 minus 1 by 1/3. And the denominator is same thing with the plus sign between the two terms. So this is 1 minus square root of 2 by 3 divided by plus sign. So this is root 3 minus root 2 divided by root 3 plus root 2. So this is the answer. So it matches with option B. B is the correct answer. So this is what I explained here. So the body is thrown up with the initial velocity u, reaches the maximum height h. So you have to find the time at which it reaches height of h by 3. So the first equation of motion is equal to ut plus half at square, and at this particular point, the displacement is h by 3 ut, and acceleration is minus because upward direction is positive. That's choice. So this is a quadratic equation in t. So we have to solve for the 2 times t1 and t2, and we have to find the ratio. So to get u in terms of h, use the third equation of motion, this one, So this, if you apply at this point, topmost point, V is 0, and we have to put the corresponding displacement of this point, which is h. From this is the origin of the axis. This is the origin, upward direction is positive. So s is plus h, and acceleration is minus because acceleration is the force downward. So from this I get u as square root of 2gh, and we have to take the positive sign because u is upwards. So using this value of u in this first equation, we get half gt square minus, take it to the left side, become plus g by 2t square, and ut, if take it to the left side, become minus ut, and u is root 2gh. So it will become this one, and this term is already in the left side, so h by 2. So this is a quadratic equation. So you have to solve for 2 times t1 and t2. And the ratio of those 2 times is minus b, where b is this coefficient, and a is this one, coefficient of t square, and c is the constant term. So this ratio, t1 by t2. So putting the values of b, a, and c, and cancelling this root 2gh, we'll get this one. 1 minus 1 thirds. So this one will give me this one. So correct option is option B.